like the bright color that it was before, and she can't seem to get herself to stand like fully upright. It's almost like she's aged far too much, or like almost like you'd see like an elderly person, how they could just kind of hunch over a little bit. She says, "I am Tiaval Alwyn, Maelstrom Goddess, once known as the bringer of storms and vengeance. Though those days seem to be long past, it seems. Who are you?" She would eye up Pierce or Jacobs first because of the flashy clothing.
I am a bit standoutish. I do a deep flourish bow, and I am Captain Marley Jacobs, god of luck and the seas. It is great to meet or make your acquaintance. What goddess of maelstroms.
She does a very massive bow.
Oh yeah.
And I would definitely say Kenna and Rock would be the first to notice this. Like, her bow takes quite a bit of energy out of her part. Like, she almost has to, like, think about the steps. And it's kind of about now with that bow that it kind of brings up that, like, if you look at the picture, her form seems to almost be kind of fading away, like deteriorating, almost like it's decaying. She was a very sleek and resilient dragon last time you saw her, but her form seems to be kind of literally decaying. There's holes in her wings, or wings are kind of patchworked. It seems as though her scales are like hardly holding onto her form. Some of the scales have even rotten to be completely black. And the dark one there.
I kind of like step up, puff up my chest a little bit. Be like, I am Pierce, the king of the vampires, god of death and undead. And I do a little bit of a more elegant bow down. And
her eyes narrow temporarily. Huh. Pleasure. Perhaps you and I can speak after this. Privately.
It would be a gift.
And the little one. You seem out of place.
That's half of it.
She kind of walks forward. She's like, "Wow, you're very big," and like runs towards her.
Oh boy.
And Tia, which last time you guys met her, she was extremely agile, like cat-like agile. Like she can barely move her head to keep up with little Pan, as Pan kind of like runs up. She says, "Oh, you are quite an energetic one. Who is this little one?"
Steady there, Pan.
Pan's like climbing up on her leg.
This is Pan. We found her behind the door at the bottom of the spire.
Like, Tia snaps her head your direction. She says, "That's impossible. I would expect the goddess of knowledge to know that."
I assure you that it is not.
That key has never existed. It was sent into the Nether Realms.
It found its way back.
And right into my hand.
Seems as though, if I had to hazard a guess, the perpetrator of such a reemergence went hand in hand with the shadow that's been cast over this land.
Yes, the dragon plague has made things quite difficult for us.
So we have observed. We came here to seek the council of the Dragon Corps, but it seems as though there are greater problems here than we could have imagined.
Seems you are correct, and by your information and the look on your face as you gaze upon my form, you were not expecting one such as me to be affected by this as much as I am.
I'm glad that you're still alive.
Just barely.
Is there anything that I can do to help you?
Perhaps, but we will speak about that in a moment. I do believe you should be informed, Goddess of Knowledge, about what is transpiring here. When the Dragon Core decided to leave the material plane, we went back to a demi-plane that we created in the beginning of creation. It's a realm of endless skies, endless plains, endless seas. The perfect location for our kind. A man found his way there. I would dare say a human, but I don't believe that was his true form. But at the time, my vision and my magical abilities had never failed to see through disguise, but it was a human as far as I could tell. He made a deal. A deal that, well, unfortunately, many of my kind could not refuse. Infinite riches, infinite power, and all it would take is a tiny price of some of our scales. I had not known at the time that what it was particularly the Elder Dragon scales he was looking for. And through several years of nefarious tricks, he managed to get one of each of our scales. The following year, our island re-emerged in the material plane against our will. At which time, the youngest and weakest of our kind began to die off almost immediately. They became sick. Over the following year, the more powerful ones began to fall ill as well, till eventually even the elders, such as myself and the other 3 Dragon Core elders, began to decay, become weakened. I do not know how many still survive. My tremendous power is the only thing that has kept me alive this long. I don't imagine that many others are still around. There are pockets on this island that seem to be spared from this plague, for that is what it is. It's a direct curse on our kind. I notice that your companion is not with you, Kenna.
Indeed, this plague of yours affected him quite rapidly.
Guess I imagine he is quite tiny.
He is
Yet, for all of his might.
safe in my sanctuary, awaiting my return.
Do be careful, you should watch him. I do not know if this plague can spread beyond our realm.
I will certainly inspect him upon my return to ensure everything is all right.
Like at this point, like Pan is like walking across her head. There was a demand from some of the elders and the higher power dragons on the council that demanded we take action. Several of them flew off in different directions in an attempt to find aid or find help or find a cure. We have an immense amount of capabilities, and yet our spells could not cure this. None of our magic, none of our natural remedies could cure us of this deterioration. So I believe it's something far sinister, something more primal.
If I were to design a plague to destroy dragonkind, I would go to great efforts to ensure that dragonkind could not reverse it. I'm guessing that that is your main problem.
Unfortunately, as far as I know, none of the ones that went off have made landfall anywhere. I am unable to contact the others. I don't sense any of the elders' presence around my forest any longer, but they may be elsewhere on this island. But they don't have any more information, as far as I know, than I do.
Well, this is quite troublesome.
Indeed.
I assume that the animals were also affected by this plague. Is it
They were.
contagious in nature?
It seemed to be. It seemed like any animal with any prior condition other than perfect health seemed to die off rather quickly. Their symptoms become greatly exaggerated. We saw several animals that had nothing but a minor cut bleed out within hours. And then, of course, became the reliance on some of the animals that some of my kind had, and there were some that panicked, attempted to hoard food or what have you. My Dragon Knight, my only remaining Dragon Knight, polymorphed himself into an animal in an attempt to convince the animals to show him where the source of their problems came from, because they seemed to avoid certain parts of the island more than others, but they shunned him for being a polymorphed creature. But my magic has faded and I can no longer turn him back. So he's stuck as a stag.
Whereas I could probably fix that.
That would be helpful. Like, he comes out of like the woods, like directly behind you. He's like, "Hey."
Hey, I've been waiting for that part of the conversation.
You were too good to be true.
Does dispel magic doesn't work on that, does it?
That would work. Yep. He'd be
Okay.
able to. Yep.
Yeah, I'll just cast that.
Yeah. He immediately turns back into. I don't know if you guys remember Dragon Knights. They're essentially just like paladins, but they wear armor colored to the dragon they protect.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a knight wearing full hot pink armor.
Damn.
Like, he's a big guy. He's 6'6", you know, very athletic build. He's like feeling up everything. He's like, "Oh, finally." I mean, I would do anything for my master. You see him like scratching his ear, like there's still some lice.
Think nothing of it. Another question about this plague. Do you think that, obviously it seems as though it doesn't affect mortal kind. Do you think that it could be contagious through them or us? Could act as carriers?
From what I can tell, I honestly do not know. We have had no contact with the outside world since we've returned here. In fact, you are the first people to arrive on our island since we've come back. In fact, I thought we were honestly far enough out that no one would be able to come here at all.
Something we should verify before returning.
I agree, that would be quite damning of your kind if you returned. From my
The rest of the
understanding.
material.
Oh, what's that?
And the rest of the material plan as well, if all the animals were to die.
Yes. Several of the elders thought that perhaps this was targeted towards dragons for our state of immortality, but I'm unsure where they got that information from.
You have that letter still?
Yeah, Jacob's had it, I believe.
Yeah, I was like, I think I had it. Bam. Letter.
What are you showing me?
Be
She
right
looks
back.
kind of confused as you hold the letter and she just looks at you.
Well, I give it to Kenna anyway. Oh, Kenna just left. So, I forgot what's on it.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I believe it should be shared with you guys too, just so you guys know.
Oh, okay. Nice.
No, that's fine. I'll read it. It's not a problem. I just
Note
want to
from
make sure.
the Tower of Creation?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, the sands of time have come calling. The eternal beasts of this land owe a debt they cannot repay. The time has come for their reign of terror and treachery to end. No more shall the beasts plague the lands meant for mortals. No more shall the Eternals use the mortal creatures of this realm as pawns in their games.
Where did you find this letter?
The tower.
I'm sorry. No, I was speaking to an imbecile. Where in the tower?
I don't know. I forget. And what we
The very top of the tower on the pedestal.
I was assuming it was in the bottom, like, or that room with the key. But yeah.
Yeah, the room with the key was on top of the key.
Ah, yes, now I remember.
I lean in and whisper on the key.
The top room, you say? That's impossible.
Well, it manifested with the key.
Only dragons can enter the top.
We were able to.
Yeah. I was gonna say, how'd we get in then?
She looks kind of aghast. She kind of shifts back a little bit to the point where Pan almost falls off her head because of how much she draws back for a second. She's like, that means the temple, the spire's defenses are down.
Oh, yes.
That means at least one of my kind has been, gone.
Oh,
So long as the four elders exist, the defenses will never go down. That means at least one of them is gone.
the anti-magic is still there.
Interesting.
Seems as though you've made a very powerful enemy at some point.
I mean, we've been enemies of the lesser gods for eternity, so yes.
Well, this does not seem the work of a lesser god to me, unless they have been preparing for quite some time. This mysterious person who took your scales, it's pretty obvious to see that they used them to enact some sort of ritual. Do you have any more information about them?
I never did quite see past his defenses, like I said. He was a fairly mundane looking fellow, and I didn't trust him. When I attempted to gather more information from him, I found myself confused and disoriented, though I did not know it until after, when I tried to recollect what I remember, what I said during our encounters. If I had to put my best guess on it, I would say he was perhaps a half-elf. His features seemed elongated. He carried a staff that had what looked to be a hourglass inscribed on the butt of
That
it.
fucking Zaladin again.
I am unsure who Zaladin is, but...
No, fucking Zaladin.
And actually, I would go ahead and say 100% Kenna, you would know that they know who he is. And you definitely immediately, so Pierce, recognize a mind wipe spell. as she looks confused at the name Zaladin.
Oh, fuck.
Like she's definitely had her memory tampered with.
Interesting.
Swear,
I'm
one
going
of these days
to
these are-
I'm gonna conjure like a sort of a likeness of Zaladin's face, as I remember it.
Yeah, you remember pretty well.
Yes. Does this seem familiar? This man? I know it's made of light, but
No, that is him. I could never
well, that's
mistake
something.
that face. It's something about his eyes. The glow. She looks away, almost like it hurts to look at it.
Yeah, I'll get rid of it. Of course, this would be Zaladin.
He's either gonna put me in a temporal prison, or I'm gonna kill him one of these days.
I would welcome it. Let's see. I'm just reading a spell. Yes.
Speaking of ways to assist in this particular situation, I do have a request that, like, looking down, you could tell that, like, she has to work up the courage to even begin to ask the question. I am not long for this world. I am holding on, but just. I can feel the light inside me fading. I do not know what is going to happen to my remains, as normally we pass on our essence to another dragon, though I have not seen another dragon, so that is not possible. I can, as a final act, put my essence into a form which you could carry around until you find one worthy to take my power. I ask you, Kenna Starborn and Rockwald, would you carry my essence?
Without a moment's hesitation.
Certainly.
I need you to understand that what I'm asking means you would die before letting it fall into anyone else's hands. This is not something that I can even begin to consider without knowing full well that you would put this essence before even yourselves.
So, Rock's gonna look at her, and with as much respect as he can say this with, you knew me once. You knew what kind of man I used to be. You are not asking something. You know the answer when you ask. I was a man of many things, but honor was one of them.
Full well believe your sentiment, and that is why I'm willing to ask this of you. I do want to just take a quick moment to point out that she does have the ego of 7 great worm dragons. So that's where it's coming from.
But she knew the answer to the question she was asking.
She did.
But it was hard to ask the question.
Yes.
Very well. So actually, while Rock's doing that, I'm going to summon my my secret chest and pull out her scale that she gave me thousands and thousands of years ago that I've kept in my little hidey hole.
It was you. She
It was
proceeds.
me all along.
Roll initiative.
Yeah, I pull it out and say, would this be a suitable vessel? A fragment of your past purer self?
Well, if that was under normal circumstances, that would be quite perfect, actually. But given the circumstances, that is nowhere near fortuitous enough to hold within me. My entire essence would shatter that within a blink of an eye. No, I will turn myself, my essence, into a gemstone of sorts.
Damn.
But in doing so, before you accept this mission, I need you to understand that this gem cannot leave the material plane. It is bound to the material plane. It physically cannot leave. Where it is, if someone possesses it, they are anchored to the material plane as well. It is one of the curses, or downsides, I guess you could say, to being a member of the Dragon Corps. This is our realm.
Guess that means you're carrying.
What's that?
Guess that means Rock's carrying it.
Fuck that. I mean,
Well,
I can't.
you can pass it around amongst your group.
Right? Yeah. It just can't leave.
Yeah.
doesn't that mean you can't like teleport with it?
Yeah.
Yep. That is 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. This is gonna be interesting. Rock
Also-
doesn't like
also,
teleporting anyway.
We can't bring it back because we would have to go over the line.
You don't know. That would be an interesting. That would be a really interesting experiment for Kenna.
Yeah.
Because technically, this is supposed to be a direct path to the material plane. She probably doesn't know about the dimensional
Guess
rift.
we'll deal with that when the time comes. Before this happens, Tiaval, I am pretty sure that this man Zaladin has corrupted your memory. I might be able to break whatever hold it has on you so you can recall more clearly what happened. It would be valuable to us, and I think valuable to you.
Given the circumstance, it might be possible, but the risk of trying to break one of his spells could potentially be disastrous. What he's done is done, and doesn't matter how he came about it.
Knowledge of the past can aid us in the future.
I'm gonna interject here for a second and go, well, I agree with both of you at the same time. Just think, what if he's planted some kind of like mental bomb where she goes berserk and tries to attack us if we do try and bring her memory back? She was a friend. I don't want to have to kill her.
It's not out of the question.
That is what I am worried about as well. If my memory has been tampered with, as you say, and seeing as what is happening around, I imagine he's been prepared for this for quite some time. I can't imagine someone that would be willing to do this would be foolish enough to allow this to be dispelled so easily. But if you wish to try, Kenna, I will not stop you. I will allow you to try before I pass on my essence.
Hmm. I. I think I would like to try. Regardless of the danger.
I would ask that the majority of you leave the area then, so that if danger does happen, I'm not responsible for slaying any of you.
We'll take some precautions. Let's see here. So I want to cast before I do the thing. I'm gonna cast Mind Blank on her to make her immune to mind stuff. You know.
It actually already mind stuff technically.
Well, you know, double immune just to be sure.
Dad, can I ask you a question?
That'll hopefully cover any gaps.
Should I consolidate my debt onto a single credit
Alright,
card?
let me take a
down
quick
faster
peek at
and
what,
something
just so I
to do with
remember
my
it.
credit score?
Probably not. Derping. That is not what I meant to do. What? Ooh, how did I do that?
Not everyone has the credit card answer you're looking for.
Yes.
The experts at NerdWallet compare hundreds of credit cards so you can shop the right card for you. From low rates to no annual fees, for all your credit card questions, turn to the nerds.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast. I'm going to say, I wish that Tiaval Alwyn's mind is to be clear, and cast Wish, duplicating the spell, the effects of Greater Restoration.
Okay. Can I just want a D20 roll plus your caster level, please.
Can do. 30.
Can I get a charisma and constitution saving throw from you?
Yep. Oh boy.
You want
Just got my charisma proficiency.
You want advantage on the con?
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt.
There you go.
Alright, so the charisma is 25. And the con I'm probably gonna fail. 6. What's that?
With advantage from Jacobs?
Yeah. 16.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna legendary save that one, because I don't. It's probably bad.
Legendary doesn't work on god effects.
Alright.
Oh no.
Oh well.
I'm just going to. Because this is more fun to do it this way.
Oh, hey, Butchie.
Let's see. So you take 142 points of force damage.
Nice. Good thing I leveled up. Guess how many hit points I have left?
How many?
2.
Nice. Ouch. Hey, you succeeded though from the charisma effect, which is the more important one to save.
Yeah, that's That's good.
So like you guys all just watch as like several chunks of Kenna just go flying into the atmosphere as she basically like imagine if she was holding on to like a frag grenade and then it just went off.
Oof.
Kind of what she looks like right now, as just like everything about Kenna is just like scattered throughout the forest currently.
Like if she was holding onto it with her stomach.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
My everything.
Yeah.
yeah. Like your essence is like just barely holding on to anything.
Holy shit.
Ugh.
You want a drink? It's healing booze.
Hey, can somebody set her on fire?
I hold out a flask.
The important thing is, did it work?
No,
Didn't work?
it did not.
Oh, well, fuck me then.
Start casting firebolt on you.
Tiaval looks about as bad as you, as the same effect happened to her,
Oh no.
and she collapses to the ground, and her
Oh.
body decays. And all that remains is a tiny little gemstone
Amethyst.
that looks. See if I can just do this. Like this.
Oh,
Well,
cool.
that's very pretty.
It is.
It is about an inch tall, and it glows and lights up an area of about 30 feet in magenta color. And occasionally you see like
A little
bits
pulse.
of. Yeah, I mean, it pulses, but like the little orby things that kind of float around is actually part of the essence that kind of come out of the crystal, then go back into it.
Neat.
That's all that remains.
I will go pick it up.
Yeah, that was quite the what'd you do?
I attempted to remove the mind.
The mind what?
Ouch. The effects.
Oh. And did I'm
Did it
assuming-
work?
Yeah. I'm assuming no go?
How do I
No.
ask this without sounding stupid?
No, it did not work.
Oh, I don't care about sounding stupid.
I
That's impossible. To me.
had to try though.
Oh, of course.
Yes, I do need to be set on fire quite badly.
I'm casting firebolt on you consistently until you're back up.
You're just casting firebolt on me.
Yeah, little points of healing.
Yay!
I can do this infinitely, so
Yeah,
there we go.
It's
Yeah,
free.
my starlings will also like charge me up.
So, Rock,
Yeah.
when you get within about 10 feet of this thing, you can feel the radiant energy coming from it. And it will take you guys a very short amount of time to figure this information out, so I'm just going to share it to you guys so that way you know. A quick study between Kenna, Rock, and, I mean, just in general, all of you guys, Jacobs, because of his knowledge of artifacts and magical stuff.
My knowledge of dragons.
The wearer of, if you possess that and connect it to a chain and put it around your neck and have it out, so it's visible around your neck, you gain advantage on all perception checks, which cannot be negated or countered by any means necessary. That includes divine realms. The wearer gains +6 to your chosen stat of strength, constitution, or charisma.
Okay, it's not +6 to all of them.
And what's that? No, not all.
I was gonna ask, like, what the shit?
No, to one, and each wearer can choose a different effect. But once the wearer chooses an effect, it's just that one for that wearer.
It's a hacked Ring of Jordan.
And any effect that would lower the chosen stat of the wearer, they are immune to essentially damage drain to that stat. So,
Neat.
Next is the wearer can speak to all dragons using True Draconic, which essentially means that you're actually, in this circumstance, all it means is that you can literally use her voice and the power of her voice.
Oh, cool.
So it's actually her talking, basically, like her voice. Um, all dragons understand that it's Tiaval's voice, and doesn't matter who they are, even if they're a direct enemy, they will show you the respect you deserve for possessing the artifact.
Neat.
And then,
Doesn't mean they'll stop, killing you, but
correct, they'll just show you the respect you deserve while they're killing you.
yep.
I respect you, Stab.
And then the final power is that once per year, and once this is, I should have written this down too, once it's been used, it goes on a 1 year cooldown, doesn't matter who uses it.
Makes sense.
Once per year, the wearer can go into a deep meditative sleep that lasts for 1 month, during which time you are extremely vulnerable for obvious reasons. But during this time, you will have visions of any events going on with the dragons in Dragonkind as a whole. You will learn secrets that are supposed to be kept amongst dragons only, even if you don't understand the importance of it or why you're learning it or if it's actually a secret.
Why is this secret?
You will understand the motives of any dragon that you see within the vision, no matter how secretive they are being or what kind of magic they're using to attempt to disguise it. And finally, the vision may show the past, future, or present events, and you don't know which it is. Though
not.
a particularly wise dreamer can narrow it down, though, the time frame. So a skilled enough observer may be able to figure out a general time frame of when they're learning this information from. That is one of Tiaval's. That was one of her big powers, is with divination stuff. So that is the power she passes on to the wearer. So that is the essence of Tiaval. Again, like I said, all you have to do is attach that to a chain if you would like to have those effects on you. I mean, any type of chain, rope, whatever you want to call it. You literally just take some, vines and attach it and make an amulet for yourself, Brock.
Put it on a stick.
No, it has to be an amulet. And it has to be visible on your chest.
Right, so you'd be like,
Yep.
not powerful, powerful.
No, it has to be kept out.
Oh.
The power suppresses itself.
Well,
It's effectively an intelligent magical item of sorts. So if you're being a D-bag with it, like trying to hide the power of it, it won't like you very much.
so here's my thought.
What's that?
Here's my thought. Hey Jacobs, you know how you can randomly pull shit out of your ass?
Well, it's a bag, but yeah.
Yeah. You
We
know what I
clarify
mean.
that before we continue this conversation.
Sure, you can just pull things out of nowhere. Better.
Yes.
Okay. What would be the strongest, heaviest metal in the world?
Isn't that adamantine?
To your knowledge, adamantine, yeah.
Cool.
What
can you
about
get
to
me a
my
chain?
knowledge?
Can you get me a chain of adamantine? About
And you do know that there are stronger things. But Jacobs has to know what it is.
Nah. Can I educate him?
Not enough to where he would reasonably know what it is.
Be able to access it.
Yeah.
Well, I will still tell everyone what the stronger things are.
I just want
Oh,
like
adamantine, that's so 2020.
I want
Like
like
force crystals or something.
Yeah, basically.
Made out of like little walls of force.
Yeah, I mean, there are literal walls of force, like, things that exist, yeah.
Alright, so here's
Pure.
my thinking. I want like a logging chain made of adamantine that I can hook this gem to. So like you're not breaking the cord off my neck, and if I give this to you, it's probably gonna weigh any normal person down too much to actually steal the damn
Nice.
thing.
So you want like a really hardcore bling chain.
So you got like a boat chain around your neck?
Pretty close.
Fucking steel cable like anchor.
And if I want to, I can take it off and beat somebody to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just tell me when, and I start yanking chain links.
Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break here to go say goodnight to my kid, and then I'll be right back.
Alright, I need a break too. But yeah, just like I'm thinking like what do you call it? What was it? Mr. T style chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not Flavor Flav.
No, not Flavor Flav, just like Mr. T style chain made of adamantine.
All right.
Got some dragon bling, yo.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's
Alright,
the soul
I'll
of
be
the
back
dead
in-
dragon, but whatever.
I'll be back in a few minutes, guys.
Yeah.
What good bling doesn't have a tragic backstory?
Right. You need a tragic backstory for your bling.
Makes it more valuable, emotional, you know?
Yeah, that is quite the amulet. First
Kenna,
thing,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say to Ben, the first thing I thought of when he said the Dragon Knight was wearing pink armor. I'm like, oh, it's now I can't even think it's Annabelle.
Yes. Hot pink power armor.
Mm-hmm. Hot pink power armor.
It's a character from another game that I ran.
Power Ranger, got it.
Pretty, I mean, yeah, well, she could duplicate herself, so.
Nice.
I mean, the duplicates only had pink armor, unfortunately.
Oh.
So,
So
not
heavy.
quite power armor. Or not quite Power Ranger.
Not-
Just, you know. if
Power
they're-
Armor Rangers.
If they're
Yeah.
all pink rangers, too much pink energy is dangerous.
That's just what I need.
It's too much power for one man or woman.
Yeah.
Maximum pink.
Zordon actually said that in an episode. Too much pink energy is dangerous.
You'll all turn into cotton candy.
Yeah, I don't know the why. I'm
I
sure-
assume that's why.
Yeah,
That's the only explanation there.
it's the only one that makes any sense.
If you have too much pink armor, you turn into
Or too much pink energy.
Pink is obviously like the color of sugar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
power.
Of pure,
Sugar power.
unadulterated sugar power.
Yes.
So
Supreme energy.
yeah. The look on Pan's face is absolute horror as she's seen Kenna and the dragon get blown up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, she was over by Rock when that happened, not on Dieval's head.
Oh yeah.
Would not have done it if she was just sitting there.
Just
Although
What you doing? Boom! Ah!
So yes, Rock is in possession of the artifact. I'm just gonna take that off there.
I don't know if Rock's back yet.
Oh, I didn't know he was gone. Sorry. So Rock disintegrates.
Oh no, it's a trap.
He takes that 142 damage every round.
I mean, he'd be fine for a bit.
Yeah.
Rock, you're taking 142 damage a round.
Okay, well, I'm good for like 3 rounds.
Alright.
Yeah, you can manage this.
Or 2 rounds, sorry. 2.5.
I mean, yeah, so you're good for 3. We'd have to do something on the third.
He just gives up his initiative.
Well,
We're just standing around. Should we do something?
oh yeah,
we
and
should do
this-
something.
Dragonite dude's still here.
No, they are directly tied to the dragon, so he just poofs.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Finally!
Well, at least he got a couple minutes of existence.
Of not being a deer.
Yeah,
No, I mean, like, kind of like when you turned him back, there was like the look of sheer joy on his face. Like, he didn't
he
care.
was probably condemned, or he was resigned to die as a deer, probably.
Yeah, like, you know how many like scary bears he had to run away from?
Hopefully a lot.
Like, he was a
Hopefully they're-
fucking deer. No one wants to be a deer.
He chose to be a deer.
I mean, he didn't choose. His master asked, and
It could have been something cool like a raccoon.